Hello, Kenny and we are making a video today for the pilot whales in the Faroe Islands area. The pilot whales are being hunted and slaughtered and butchered in a gruesome way. They slaughter them alive while they are struggling for like an hour or so until they finally are put out of their misery. And it is barbaric. It is the most gruesome thing there is. And that's why today I'm going to write a letter to Angela Merkel to ask her to please support Sea Shepherd Conservation Society in the Faroe Islands, where they are trying to help the whales. And what's happening is the Faroese people, government, I don't know, I think they are governed by Denmark. That's what I heard. The Faroese told me that's not the case, but I don't believe them, of course. I talked to them for like half a year straight, back and forth on YouTube, and they deny that they belong to Denmark, and they think that they're independent, they can make these choices, and they don't understand ethics. They don't understand that these whales are sentient beings. They see them like fish, but they are mammals. They nurse just like humans and horses and dogs. You know, it's the same thing, and more evolved actually. You know, so those are persons, and we need to. That's why it's very important that we work on getting animals' personhood rights. You know, that's not what I mean by voting, you know, or parental custody rights or something like this. So obviously my dog is in my custody because we humans, we make it hard for the animals to even live in the wild today. You know, it's like the only wild animals that are left, like here the raccoon, for example, you know, they come and they actually need our food. You know, the raccoon comes here, he can't even find food out there anymore because people have paved everything over. So we give him food. Kenny gives him food. You know, Kenny drops dog food, we pick it up and we give it to the raccoons, and has some clay in it, which is good for them. So the animals in the wild, when there are no more wild places on land, they are being cornered. You know, that's what's happening with the wolves, with the deer, foxes, raccoons, bears, and so on. And in the ocean, they are being hunted to extinction, and it's unbelievable. You know, the dolphins and the whales, many different whale species, and it is an atrocity, and we need to do everything we can to help. And we need to, everyone, as many people as possible, please write a letter on your own. Write it on paper if possible. I will find the contact information, I'll put it under the video. Also write it in email form. Email petitions have helped, have changed whole laws. Okay, it's very important to do it. But also write paper letters and make videos, maybe, you know, make personal videos to the people in legislation all over the world. Be inventive, you know, sing a song. That's what I've done for Shujo. I made several videos where I sang my self-made song for Shujo, the dolphin in Japan. Things like this, you know, let's really do it. Let's become more creative. I've seen people write songs for the wolves, very, very good, you know, wonderful. They only have a few people who like them. Unfortunately, it's very unfortunate that the majority of people, they are, I don't know, they don't recognize this message, they don't recognize the urgency of it. So it is very, very important. Forget about these dogmatizations, forget about the religions, forget about what the hunter parents say or the farmer parents who just want to exploit. Forget about that. Think for yourself. The animals are sentient, just like you and myself and Kenny. We're all in this together. We're all sentient beings. Every single one is a sentient being who wants to live, breathe, drink, eat, run, exercise, breathe fresh air, have friends, be living to the fullest, without pain, without being coerced, without being cornered, without living in fear, without terror, without confinement. This is very, very important. Without being butchered, without living every day in terror. That's how the whales live. They live in terror of having their babies butchered right in front of their eyes. Can you imagine what they feel? They're more evolved than humans. Can you imagine how painful this is for them? It's more painful than it is even for human mothers. Picture that. Understand it. Help. Do something. If you help, if anyone out there helps, it will make you feel empowered. I promise this to you. It will boost your immune system. It will help you too. Okay? It's not this it's not a struggle. It's not what Esther Hicks is saying. It's not a struggle at all. It's love. It's true love. When you love, you feel better. But don't do it for you. That's the key in this whole thing. Do it for the other living beings. Like a mother takes care of her child. Take care of the animals. They are our children. Everyone, every human is the parent and steward of earth and animals. People need to learn to understand this. I do this because I strongly feel for all the life on earth. I strongly feel it. I feel it so strongly that sometimes I can't sleep. Sometimes I just lie in bed crying and rocking myself to sleep, thinking about the animals, thinking about any kind of living being who is in danger, who is suffering, who is at the mercy of someone who doesn't feel them, someone who's disconnected from their needs. So please help everybody. I really hope people will help and write letters to Angela Merkel and ask her to please strongly support Sea Shepherd members and to give them the rights back to be there too. Because what the Faroese people did, they have blocked Sea Shepherd from their country. They have a law where they said Sea Shepherd, they aren't allowed to be within a certain range to a whale. And I see this all over the planet happening, by the way. I also see this in the United States as well. That's why we couldn't help the sea lion, because they wouldn't even give us permits to bring the sea lion to safety. And I don't know what happened after this, but I really tried everything I could. We need to ask Angela Merkel to do everything in her legislative leverage that she has to get together with other legislators in Europe and to straighten this out, and to get Denmark to straighten the situation out with the Faroe Islanders, and United Nations should be contacted in this regard, and they need to help, and they need to protect the whales. Those beings, they are basically now in our custody, because people have this advantage, this technological advantage, unfortunately, and then they think because they have the advantage, they call themselves apex predator. I see it all the time on the internet, which is a complete wrong reasoning. It's the opposite. With this technological advantage that humans, that doesn't mean they're smarter, that just means they have hands to make these things with. The whales don't, okay? That's the difference. The whales have better brains than we have. Okay, people, we can learn from the whales. We can learn peace. We can learn altruism from them. We can learn true love from them, and true communication, and making things work in the community. That's what we can learn from them. So they have this huge advantage psychologically, mentally, and intellectually over humans. But humans, they have greed. It's still very rudimentary, this greed thing. And because of that, they think that they can exploit. But that's wrong reasoning, okay? We have the responsibility, with the technological advantage that we have, to be good stewards of all life on Earth. Okay, please, everybody, help me with this. Thank you. Take care.